Hello, lovely humans. Hi. I felt a transmission come through me just now, and I felt super compelled to share it with you in the world, in the greater world here. Around navigating things that we don't like. The parts of us that we don't like. The parts of the world and circumstances in our life that we don't like. And the parts of other people that we don't like. There is a lot of division in the world right now. Like heaps. Heaps of division in the world right now. What I'd love for you to ask yourself is, how much division is there within you? How much do you fight against yourself? How much do you hate the parts of you that you don't like, that you don't agree with? Because we all have parts of us that we don't like, right? There are all parts of us that we feel disconnected from. There are parts of us that are mean to us, that are cruel to us. There are personality traits that we have that we're not so keen on. And how do we respond to parts of us within ourselves that we don't like? When we disagree with perhaps within ourselves, how do we react to that? How are you responding to yourself when you're not being kind? As above, so below. So without, as within. There is so much divide externally in the world right now. An incredible amount of division. Irrelevant of where you stand and what your thoughts are, it's pretty obvious that you can see how much division there is in the world. And I always bring that back to us. How much division is there within inside of you? Are you able to face the darkest, grossest, meanest, cruelest parts of you and sink into love? It's a big, big challenge. In fact, it's one of the biggest challenges that I find in the self-love journey. One of the biggest challenges that I find in the self-love journey is how do we step into love for ourselves when we don't like what's happening? You see, self-love is a choice. Love is a choice, and you have a choice right now. You have a choice for you to decide that you are going to love the parts of you that you don't like. Sure, you might not like that you overeat. Sure, you might not like that discomfort that you have within inside of you when those overwhelming emotions come through. How do you feel about the parts of you that you don't like? It's pretty likely that when you come across parts of you that you don't like, that you shut down, or you get aggressive, or you block them, or you push them away. It's not how we get to love. The biggest challenge in your self-love journey that you're ever going to have is to accept and love the parts of you that you don't like. And you do this by choosing it. You got to choose love. You have to choose to hold yourself in such sweet, sweet reverence that there's no way the universe could have gotten it wrong. It doesn't mean that the parts of you that you don't like get to lead in your life. It doesn't mean that the parts of you that you don't like are the ones that have the light in your life. But if you leave them in the shadow, you are denying you. If you really, truly want to learn how to love yourself, if you really, truly want to sink into a deep place of self-love, then you've got to choose to love the parts of you that you don't like. If there is any part of you that you are rejecting, if there's any part of you that you are denying, if there's any part of you that you are pushing away and shoving because you don't like it, including the noise in our heads, including the negative self-talk, including the emotions that you can't control, If you are pushing those parts of you aside and rejecting them, then you are rejecting yourself. And self-love requires us to love all of us. Self-love requires us to love each part of us that we are uncomfortable with. Again, it doesn't mean that it leads. Instead, love leads. Instead, what you face here is that you make the decision that love in your life is going to be the driving force. Love, trust, surrender, faith. You make a decision each and every single day, each and every single moment sometimes. Shit, I know I do. When I want to get angry, when I want to fall into a heap, all of those experiences, I choose to love them. Not so they go away. I don't choose to love the parts of me that I don't like so they go away. I choose to love them so I embrace them. For my loves out there, if you have children, you might not always like them. I know that you don't always like them because they can be turds and shits and you're like, oh my God, will you just shut up? It drives you nuts sometimes, your children. But you always love them and you embrace them and you tell them that everything is okay because it is. Stop denying the parts of you that you don't like. They're the ones that need your love the most, including what's happening in the world. If you have people out there that have very strong different beliefs to you, send them love. And if they are yelling at you and screaming at you, then you set your boundaries firm with love and you send them love. Ultimately, there are two choices that we make. There are two options that we have. We live in fear or we live in love. It doesn't mean that we don't take action. It doesn't mean complacency. It doesn't mean that we don't do anything and we just roll over. We still get to stand up for what we believe in. We still get to live our truth. We still get to speak our truth. Whatever that truth may be, it's yours and you have every right to it. Just ask yourself if you're coming from love. Ask yourself if you're speaking love. Ask yourself that when you see division outside of you, what division are you not addressing with inside of you? We can't solve external division. We can't. The only way out is through. Choose to bridge the divide within your own heart. How can we possibly feel like there will be peace and calm on the outside if we don't even need to do it? We don't even know how to do it for ourselves. We need to learn how to do it for ourselves. If you can't even love the person that you're with 24/7, if you can't even love the parts of you that you don't like, that you have known for your whole entire life and you know more intimately than anybody else, how the hell are we meant to love thy neighbor? It starts with us. Bridge the divide with inside of ourselves. Make peace with the parts of you that you don't like. How? How do you do this? Let me show you. What's a part of me that I don't like too much? I can be judgmental. Yeah, I'll be straight up with you. Something that I notice I have that I've been working on probably my whole life. I tend to be quite judgy, and particularly with people who don't have opinions the same as me. Yeah, I'm human after all, and I don't like that character trait about myself. Literally, this is what I'll do. Whenever I notice that I'm being judgmental. Hello, judgment. Thank you for being here. I love you. Thank you for showing me all aspects of myself. Thank you for showing me what needs attention. Thank you for showing me what needs more love. And I sink into that. Judgment, I want you to know that I've got this and that love now leads. And I just feel into that. I feel into the experience of loving the judgment in myself that I don't like. I would never ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself, ever. I do absolutely face the parts of me that I don't like. There's plenty. Yeah. And I love it. I don't let my judgment lead me. I choose love. I lead judgment. If I don't like judgment within myself, rather than banishing it away from me, which is just rejection of myself and causing division internally, what I do instead is love that part of me. And I lead it. And I lead it with love, because love pulls it up. Love pulls that beautiful heart center. I fill judgment with love, and judgment doesn't feel like it needs to be loved, doesn't feel like it needs to judge anymore. Think about it. My judgment, if then I judge and be judgmental of my judgment, then I'm just creating more judgmental in me. But if I love my judgment and I allow it to be, but not let it lead, then I'm bridging the gap of division within inside of myself. I hope that whoever needs to hear this tonight hears it. I hope that if you've watched this later on, that you keep making decisions, the courageous decision, by the way, to choose love within yourself, to choose to bridge the gap within yourself with ultimate love, and to stay in that space. In order to stay in that space, we have to keep making the choice. And it's rough. It's tough. It requires strength. It requires courage. It requires a huge amount of vulnerability to face the parts of you that you don't want to. And I commend you if you're doing this work. Oh, gosh, I commend you. I love you deeply. I see you in this struggle. I see you in the elements of you that you don't like, and I'm sending you such deep, deep love that you may heal the division that's within inside of you, that you may heal the parts of you that you don't like by loving them instead. You don't have to like them. You don't have to like what's going on in the world, but you can choose love. And I wish that for you. Do you know my book's coming out? Probably in about 6 weeks. Perfectly Imperfect, Your Complete Guide to Loving Yourself and Loving Your Body. If you want more of these transmissions, join me on the VIP list. Link's in my bio somewhere, or just ask me. Whatever you need. I love you. I'm sending you love. Love, love, love. Even if I disagree with you. Even if you disagree with me. Even if I don't like you. Even if you don't like me. You're probably not watching, but anywho. I'm sending you love nonetheless. Sending love to those that I don't like and that I disagree with. As much external as is internal. Big love, my beauties. Good night.